All right, thank you, Mrs. Siva, for joining us today. The first question we have to ask, what type of rare disease does your child suffer from?
My daughter Swati, she is now 21 months old. She has this infantile pompe. So it was diagnosed when she was 6 months old, when she has this continuous pneumonia for almost 10 days. Right? So infantile pompe is a condition where body doesn't have an enzyme by default. It's called a glycogen. A glycogen is in the body where it breaks down the sugar, glucose in the body, so that it behaves normally. But then my daughter doesn't have this enzyme in the body where it accumulates the sugar in the body, and then it makes her muscles weak. It enlarges her organs, including the heart, kidney, liver, and so on. So that's what, in short, what is my daughter's disease, infantile pompe. Yeah.
Okay. Now we have to talk about the diagnosis, the process of the whole process of getting a diagnosis for your daughter. How was it for you?
Right. She was born as a normal child. She was normal as a normal baby, and we didn't notice anything unusual until she was the end of her 6 months. Right. And when she was having this frequent pneumonia and prolonged pneumonia, even with a lot of medication, she wasn't recovering. We did an X-ray and then found that she has an enlarged heart. And further echo test was done on her to found that she has a failed heart, and it was in a critical condition. And then they refer us to a genetic clinic in HKL, and we did a genetic testing on her. And that's why we found that she has the infantile pompe. So there was no sign of that she having any rare disorder in her upon her birth. It's only when she was ailing towards 6 months and 7 months old, we found that she has this something very different in her. Yeah.
So was pneumonia a symptom for that specific disease?
Well, if you take any normal child will get a pneumonia, but then for her it was a prolonged pneumonia and non-curable pneumonia for a while. And only upon then it was more of doctor found out that, hey, it's not recovering. Let's do another further test after 10 days. And when she was born, she has this little tongue of her sticking outside. We thought it's normal. Medical professionals thought it's normal. Our elderly folks around us found it's normal. But then apparently it's one of the symptoms of the infantile pompe because of muscle weakness. The tongue sticks out all the time for the kid, infants. Yeah. So we didn't knew it earlier. It's only when we were diagnosed, she was diagnosed with the infantile pompe, we found that it's one of the symptoms actually. So it was like, wow. She had that quite long, but then we didn't know. We thought it's normal. Yeah.
Okay, so we have to talk about the initial reaction. You as a parent, finding out that your daughter has this rare disease. I'm sure the first thing you would have been on your mind is to go out and do all this research and find out. But when it dawned on you that this disease is something serious, so what did you actually do?
We were clueless. We didn't know what is rare disease all about. We didn't know what is going to be then after in our life, that now we found that she has a rare disease. We were totally clueless. We knew that something is not right, but then we knew that something needed to be done, but then we don't know anything about it at that point of a time. So we slowly came to an acceptance. You see, my parents, myself, my wife, our surroundings, none of us knew how to take care of a special baby. We are used to the normal kids. So a lot of thoughts, a lot of things came to our mind. Accepting it was a very challenging thing in the first place, but then once we settled down and we accepted, we need to find a way to move forward, to take care of her. And it's a very different world that we came into, because we started to be in contact with the different doctors, other different rare disease children and parents. So it's a very different world that our world started. So it's a very stressful. It is very disappointment. It was there as well, because the life changed, and the children, the baby, her life changed as well, and we have son who's 10 years old, and his life changed as well. It's a life-changing experience and a moment that we came to adoption with. Yeah.
And what are the biggest challenges faced by a parent in raising a child with the rare disease, based on your own personal experience and based on the parents that you know actually?
Right. The biggest one I would say is unknown, the world that we live in. You see, there's no one single condition that fits all the babies and children. Everyone, although the disease can be the same, conditions are different. And the way they are diagnosed, the way they have been treated, the way they have been living at their own home, everything is so different that we can't say everyone has the same life, even though they have the same disease. It's a lot of unknown in our rare disease world. The medication can work for some, may not work for another. And the lifespan of a child with that disease can be longer for one, can be shorter for another. So it's an unknown world that I live in, that it stresses you emotionally and mentally. We have to accept whatever that we knew. We live with what we don't know, and we can't find out what we don't know because it's not out there yet. So we do whatever that we could to find out. That is unknown area of it. The other challenges are coming to the life that we are adjusting with. The whole life change, right? You had a family life which was normal and routine. Things changed back home. You need to adjust that as much as you could. People's perception is a different story, but then there's another thing that you need to adjust as well, educating the rest. Now, managing a child with a rare disease comes with another set of challenge that we have is funding for the treatment, availability of the treatment. Not every disease have a treatment in country. So we're finding a treatment for that. Supplement treatments, therapies that we need to do for the children, commuting them forward and back to the back and forth to the treatment center. So all these are challenges that the parents of a rare disease child face. But one thing that I found among all this is the strength that we have as a parent group and the knowledge that we share among us helps us a lot. But then challenge remains a challenge. We'll fight it every day.
All right. And do you constantly think about how your daughter is going to live her own life? Because we have to come back to your personal story and your daughter's story. What do you think could be one of the biggest things you have to face in this coming few years or few months and things like that for your story?
I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So I'm not thinking too far ahead. Of course, I'm hoping the best for her in the very long future. I'm already thinking whether she will get to go to school. Does she get to graduate? Does she get to have a boyfriend? Does she get to have a married life with a child and so on? I'm totally clueless. We do not have anyone that we can refer to have that longevity lifespan with the disease. So, and everyone have a different life that I said, right? So, we'll see what's with her. But one thing for sure, we'll do definitely the best for her to keep the lights on for her as long as we could.
Now, Mr. Siva, we have to talk about talking about this rare disease, advocating for rare disease. How did this actually start? Where did the initiative or the intention for being a voice for the people who have this rare disease, how did that actually start?
Been advocating for rare disease all the while. I realized that to have a system in this country so that we'll have a lot of things taken care by itself rather than we all are pushing and fighting for it, right? So having a national policy for rare disease in Malaysia will be an ultimate goal that not only myself, a lot of other parents and NGOs that are hoping for, so that we have a system in place to manage the rare disease community and also the system and the children especially for a better quality of life. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank our Prime Minister, Dr. Mahathir, for the blessing the website launching. And also, Dato Sri YB, Dr. Zulkifli, our Minister of Health, for being very supportive of the rare disease community since he took over the office, and he's member of staff. Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia, Hospital Kuala Lumpur. I have to be very honest that the doctors here and also the nurses, the staff, are amazing set of people that being very helpful and supportive. Not to forget Malaysia rare disease families and children. Each of us can be alone by ourselves, but together we are strong.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Siva, and good luck to you, your daughter, the rare disease community, and also your website. Thank you so much.